Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is about the prequel versus the sequel. The prequel basically kind of scarred the sequel up a bit. Like, seriously, up a bit. Now I have to try to remember what was what. I should have wrote it down, but oh well, we'll just try to do this by what we got. So basically, you basically had the whole hide and seek thing, which, yeah, the hide and seek. And it turns out that new developments came. It's just the fact that the father cheated. The father cheated. He actually went downstairs in the basement to do a video while Peter's trying to look for him. Yeah, so yeah. And it comes up to the point of how come that he knew this was coming, that he didn't have any more videos. And the fact that he didn't even direct it at Peter at all. I mean, seriously, he just directed whoever's watching this, not whoever my son. Yeah, I'm like, seriously, if you're going to base this off the Ultimates, you're going to have more videos than that. You have to have more videos than that. Because you have to know that you are bound to be doomed and everything. I mean, seriously, you had to have known. Alright, the next up is the Brock's not being there, which I already mentioned in the sequel spoiler thing. So you're going to get rid of Eddie Brock, which the Brock's family, because for some reason you want to have Eddie Brock in his own movie. But the thing is that that's part of the ultimate story. The fact that you had the mom, the dad, and the Brocks, the mom and dad. I mean, seriously, to actually change it up like this is kind of not good. I mean, like I said in the previous one, your route will just be either A, his father is a scientist and his mother is a whatever, or B, his mother died during birth and his dad is nothing but an abusive drunk. I would rather go with A, because if you're trying to make Brock's life cool, I would say go with A, but instead you're going with freaking B. So, next part is the whole breeding of the spiders and stuff. Yeah, so I see how they actually made that something new. The fact that you had Peter's father who created the spiders and bred the spiders along with Dr. Connors. And apparently he killed the spiders, but yet in the movie you actually see a bunch of spiders in that place. Which, no, I guess kind of funny is the fact that he opened the secret thing himself, and he actually saw like all the bio cables, and he saw those spiders. I don't know. Was someone really planning that? Which I forgot about them. Well, heck, I can put it in here. So yeah, so in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they revealed that they have like cameras everywhere, security cameras all over the wazoo place. So the question remains is, if they're able to actually, and they were stalking Peter, does that mean that they already have freaking footage of him being bit by a spider? That's the question. Do they actually have him bitten by a spider in there? Because chances are, I would figure they did have security, and they actually have the biocable things, and if not actually have that, most likely they'll actually have the idea of this Parker kid, or this kid, Parker kid, or this kid bought some bio cables from us. Yeah, we need to see what he's doing with those bio cables, because we surely know that if he bought something from us, he most likely is doing something bad with it or something. Or we're intrigued of what he's going to do with them. So, yeah, that's another reason why they could have stalked him or something. So they've been stalking him in the first movie, but the thing is that in the first movie, we had no way or no idea how Peter was actually getting stalked. So does that mean that they have him actually took pictures of him while he's climbing on the wall? Well, I mean, the deleted scenes of where he's following Dr. Connors. Does that mean that he was actually telling... So, yeah, Peter telling Dr. Connors, who was getting tailed by some Oscorp security dudes. Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, where's the proof in that? I mean, you can't just all of a sudden just say, yeah, that he was being stalked. Which I guess that's one reason why they threw it away, but still. If you show it in a movie trailer, you can't take it back. That's one thing you can't do. Alright, the next up is Dr. Connors and also Max Dillon. So, Dr. Connors, in the first one, they actually took out the human emotion effect. So you don't feel sad at all by Dr. Connors getting arrested. You don't feel sorry for him at all, actually. What's even crazier is that if he still rots in the jail, you won't actually care because, well, they got rid of the human emotion. And then, as soon as Max Dillon comes into play, you freaking feel sorry for the dude. Yeah, even when he turns into Electro, even when he fights at the power plant and he's quote unquote gone forever, you do feel sad for him because he's just a misunderstood dude who actually was in the wrong business. I mean, it seems to me that he actually need to be like some kind of stylist or some kind of TV scientist or something. You know, someone maybe even have like his own YouTube account where he has like a million subscribers and all that. And he's able to make a difference and he's on newspapers and everything. That's what really needs to happen to actually make him happy, but it's sad. It really is sad. It gives you the emotion of feeling sorry for him. And here's the funny part. You had two people who actually was talking about how he reminds them of Enigma or basically the Riddler, and you had also he reminds you of Poison Ivy. Well, here's the thing. Poison Ivy, I didn't give a darn about, especially after she said, I'm the one who killed Mr. Freeze's wife. And as for the Riddler, he's funny and all, but I didn't really give a darn if he actually died or anything. I'm just saying. So, his character, you gave a darn about. Those other two characters, you didn't give a darn about them. If they freaking died, you didn't give a care. Who cares if they died or not? I didn't really care. Seriously, I didn't even know who the actress was. That's how much I didn't care about. Yeah, seriously, I didn't even give a darn about it. So, yeah, they got rid of the emotion. They had wife and kid. He had a wife and kid, and they didn't even put it in the movie. I mean, I don't even get it. Were they trying to stay away from the whole make it like the previous sequel? The fact that they have the emotion factor of caring for the bad guy? I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, well, I'm going to fuse this movie with the other movie too. The other video I was going to do. So, they also have the idea of trying to not make it like the previous franchise, right? But yet, they allowed Peter to graduate in the second movie, even though I could have sworn they wanted him in high school, period, throughout all the movies. But yet, you graduate him, and so it's like, well, the first movie, the first franchise. Yeah, he graduated and was in high school at the same time. He was in high school and then he graduated. How is this any better? One movie where he's in high school and then he graduates in the next movie? I don't get it. I don't really get that at all. The other part is the idea that it takes place right after the first movie, and yet it's been a year since Spider-Man's been out. So, yeah, that sounds like to me that they actually are doing same old, same old. Yeah, so, yeah. There's like a few other things that I can't really remember right now. But, yeah, there's like some things I scratched. Like, for instance, the fact that they made the Stacys like having two boys and a daughter and a father. Basically, all it was is just Captain Stacy, Gwen Stacy, and her mom. That's it. To actually incorporate having two sons is kind of like, why? Why do you even need them? Oh, the other thing is that, like the previous franchise, one thing that Aunt May even told me is the fact that she liked the fact that Spider-Man was not the center of Norman Osborn's death. The fact that he has to keep this secret. And because of the secret, you had tension building. The fact that Harry grows angrier and angrier at Spider-Man. And as soon as he knew Peter was Spider-Man, ooh, he got the planning. Oh, man. That was the big force that actually said, you know what? I'm going to read up on my dad's research and I'm going to become a scientist just like Peter so I can use science to help me take him down. You have to admit, that is actually makes sense why he somehow all of a sudden learned science. Don't you think? Cinema Sims? Anyways, yeah, so in this time around, yeah, they don't have anything, but they do have the fact that they know who killed, or we have no idea if whoever, yeah, we don't have no idea that the Stacys know that it was Harry who killed her parents. Killed her daughter. We have no idea that they know that he did it. All we know is that Peter knows, and chances are that is going to steam him up. Yeah, so this time there is tension, but it's on the other foot. Now you have Peter, who could be actually being a ticking time bomb, and that means next time he sees Harry as Green Goblin, he is going to beat the snot out of him. He is going to straight up beat the snot out of him, especially if he makes the remark, so, it makes a crazy remark. It's like, well, at least you can save all those people. Too bad you couldn't save the woman you loved. Ooh, that's a good line. If they take that from me, ooh, my gosh. That would start everything. That would start him freaking starting to get angry and beating the crap out of Harry. Oh my gosh. The good news is that Harry has some reinforcements, but that's not going to save him. That is not going to save him at all. It's not. It's not going to save him. My gosh, man. Oh, man. If he says that, oh my gosh. What's even crazier is if he said all that, but he has to go against all those heroes and Harry already left somewhere. Yeah, that would basically add more tension to the whole, man, he needs to fight. He needs to get beaten down for what he just said. Especially if Harry keeps on pressing that wound. Just keeps on pressing and pressing and pressing that wound. The fact that he actually killed or threw Gwen Stacy away or something like that. And he wasn't able to save her. Yeah, that's going to really, really sting. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's just like what's going to happen. What happened in the dreaded sequel. But this time it's going to deal with Peter. And how will he deal with it? The good news is that Peter is a good guy and Harry was a bad guy. So, yeah. At least this time, the person that is going to pursue the other is not going to have a coma or something. Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, while he's trying to go after Green Goblin somehow has like a tinsel line waiting for Spider-Man to come, and then Spider-Man swings, boing, and then hit everything, and then falls straight down to the floor. Yeah, he won't have anything. He'll basically be like, hey, Spider-Man, hey, Peter, hey, do you see Gwen Stacy? Is she alive? Oh my gosh, man, that would be horrible. But he's going to carry him off and basically have him truly killed and stuff. But anyway, sequels, the prequel and the sequel. One thing that they did is use the mask we wear and where are you know who you are and stuff like that. And in this one, it's basically turned from that into, do you know Gwen Stacy's gonna die? Do you know she's gonna die? You have to know she's gonna die. She's gonna die at some point, so that's why she has to give that speech out, And Peter missed the speech just like Peter missed the phone call from Uncle Ben. So when he needed to listen to it the most, that's where he was able to listen to it. Yeah, so Gwen gave him that flash drive, and Uncle Ben left the message on voicemail. Yep. I wonder if he actually kept it. That's one crazy thing is that I wonder if he actually kept the. Yeah, you know. So let's see, is there anything else that really needs to be talked about? Either the previous franchise did it or sequel and prequel. Excuse me. One thing that truly needs to be mentioned is the fact of how did he get all that stuff? Chances are the bio cable that had to have cost a pretty penny. That really had to cost a pretty penny. All of that stuff that he got, chances are I would say maybe the first costume cost $80 or something, along with sunglasses. So I bet it cost $20 if it was really exclusive and stuff. And all the other stuff, I mean, that had to be like $200 at most, or at least. So, where did he get all the money? Is it because of the money that Uncle Ben left? Or, I don't know, is it allowance? And then in this next movie, in the sequel, they basically had Aunt May saying how they were on ends meet. The fact that she needed another job to cover it. And yeah, I mean, then how in the world is. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, the worst part is that Peter has replaced his camera. He replaced his camera. How in the world did he get in the whole. Yeah, that's the messed up thing is how in the world did he get into the whole Daily Bugle? I mean, seriously, how did he get into that? Yeah, like really, where did he get into that business? I mean, seriously. And then you also have Aunt May who had a digital camera, actual digital camera, better than Peter's. And it's like, that had to cost like $100 something dollars. So, what's the deal with that? Yeah. So, yeah, that's just one thing that the prequel screwed over that the sequel had to deal with because it brings more questions. And the fact that since they straight up speed up the whole process of the relationship thing, even though the second movie made it very, very good, I would actually have hold off on the whole relationship thing, or at least the romantic stuff that they're doing until this sequel, which they did even better. Which that just means cut out all the romance stuff, allow them to be like good friends and maybe even like each other, but not all that stuff. Seriously. And just like in the prequel, in the sequel as well, they had the trailers who had stuff that wasn't even seen in a movie, but yet we know that it's there. And yet again, that means that there was like a good version of it, or I should say, quote unquote, a better version of the movie. But sadly, due to the Sony executives saying, you need to change some things, we got the less sparkly version that the Sony execs got to see, which I think we need to stop the whole idea of the executives need to make the decisions, and more the fact of having a private screening with people who love Spider-Man, and because the Sony executives are like, ooh, that's good, or ooh, that's bad. Chances are there's none who really care about Spider-Man, and yeah, we need like to have someone who actually are Spider-Man fans and they rate for it, or just the fact that I wouldn't say get the comic book geniuses who actually read all the comics and stuff, because they would have like lots of nitpicks and they'll basically try to make it more of the comics, and that's only useful if they actually really want to make it comic relatable. And speaking of which, you also had the whole clock tower thing, which I think that was a different clock tower than what we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but still, that was the same clock tower. And it's kind of crazy the fact that you had this clock tower and you had the real reason to make it very, very special, and you cut it. But I'll tell you anyways, even though you all most likely know. The fact that in the deleted scenes, when they swung by the clock tower, they actually were gonna have like dinner or something at the clock tower too, like a nice picnic. So if that picnic did happen and showed in the movie, that would make it even more gruesome, the fact that she died in that clock tower, because they actually had a romantic time in the on the clock tower, but now it's used for her demise, which was kind of like, yeah. So that means that even if right now they're using it, they could actually be crazy enough to actually say how they had a flashback of them eating on the clock tower where he sees it and he's like, oh man, oh man. I think that's basically all that there is about this movie. Besides the whole off screen had to get rid of the suit. Yeah, I mean, I would rather saw what happened to the suit than actually have to pick up a comic book to see what happened. Alright, I think this actually wraps up everything. I don't think there's anything else to actually mention. I mean, there's really nothing else besides the whole deaths that happened that we didn't get to see. And you had to look at Tumblr to see this. Tumblr to get noticed that, yeah, they found a body in the subway tunnels. I mean, I would rather actually have seen like something. Never mind, I'll withdraw that thought I just had. But still, I would at least like to have like a director's cut, or what they did was a Spider-Man 2.1. So if they would actually have been like director's cut where, and how about this, the fact that all the stupid deleted scenes that were shown shouldn't have been put in the DVD. I mean, yeah, you should put like maybe a little teeny tiny bit, but the rest of it should have got like fully developed and then put in the movie so you can have a director's cut version along with sneak peek of the next movie and all that stuff. Which brings to the question of how come they are able to do this sequel and they just allowed the prequel to be crappy as hell. I mean, I understand the whole side point of, but they had to keep their license and they didn't want to actually spend money to redo a reboot. Instead, they just wanted to make it crappy as hell so the next time they can actually start with something good. Which I'm like, if you start well at the beginning, chances are you get a better end than what you get. Which you could have made it better and you could actually had more ideas put into it than what you did, which is, yeah, there's really not really that much stuff from the prequel that really helped with the other thing besides establishing he's with Aunt May, establishing that Gwen Stacy is his love interest, or the idea that you didn't want to show Harry, but chances are, number one, you would really like to have the whole Harry thing resolved. I mean, the idea that Peter had to sneak in to be one of those Oscorp interns is kind of stupid. Or Oscorp trainees or whatever. Yeah, I think you should have actually got, Harry should have pulled some strings. Heck, you could have actually did an email something that say, hey Harry, I noticed there is like some kind of intern thing at Oscorp. Is there any way you can give me the hookup? And then Harry gives the email. Certainly, Peter. You know you're my pal. Let me just call my dad or see what I can do. And then basically, ta-da. Yeah, instead of the whole Rodrigo framed and it's like, my name is Rodrigo Rivera. My name is Rodrigo Rivera. Yeah, it's not right. That wasn't really funny at all. That was kind of sad. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. The fact that it's a crappy sequel, technically they could have done better with that. The fact that they could have actually have made a soundtrack for it. They had a few good songs they could have put into the movie. And, well, they basically didn't. And I think I must have missed the whole 5 minute preview of Amazing Spider-Man 2 because they didn't do it this time. Or they basically did it on America's Got Talent. But I don't think they did anything, so that's all I just have to say. It's just the fact that the prequel did make some scuff marks on a sequel, but luckily it's not that bad that it could really damage things. Besides the whole, why in the world didn't he open up the calculator, or why in the world didn't he? Yeah, basically it's like many why in the world didn't he do this, do that, and the other. So thank you for listening, and I'm done. Thank you.